This video is about 8 lifts that I wish I had started doing earlier. Those exercises helped me build a good amount of muscle and I wish I had known them for longer. I'm gonna talk about their benefits and why did I choose to do them. I did not do them sooner because I didn't know that much about biomechanics and resistance profiles, but sure enough, after I've introduced them in my routine, I've been enjoying them quite a lot. So the first exercise is preacher curls. Man, this exercise is godlike. In my opinion, this is the perfect exercise for the biceps, at least for me, mainly because it's the hardest in the portion of the range of motion where the biceps is lengthened, and there aren't many exercises that offer this benefit. Also, the pad under your elbows offers great support and stability, which means you're able to take this to failure and it pretty much takes out other assisting muscles. So you can be sure that the limiting factor will be the biceps. In the past, I would think that if I don't feel the muscle contracting, the exercise is not as good as others, but oh boy, was I wrong. Even though you won't feel as much contraction on those as you would, for example, during spider crawls, your biceps will grow like crazy from those. And this is definitely one exercise you might want to try for yourself to see. Next one is slant board squats. Now, I am kind of limited in my home gym and I had to find a good quad biased lift, so I decided to build myself a slant board from some scrap wood. I was really surprised by how effective those are. Push your knees as far forward as you comfortably can and try not to use your hips too much. My suggestion with these is to have strict form in order to bias your quads more. These are good for individuals with long legs and long torso, as it allows you to be way more upright, almost like in a front squat. If you're usually sumo squatting, this will be a good addition to complement your training. I like them because they're still a good compound exercise and it allows good progression. The weights used will be lower than what you use on your standard squat, but also there will be less fatigue and also great stimulus. I started doing this variation because I wanted to be able to train my quads hard without much lower back implication, and indeed my lower back was recovering faster. Another good variation that you can do if you don't have a slant board is to do the Platz squats. Next exercise will be the seated barbell overhead press. I started doing seated press by accident because I've been doing them standing my entire life, and after we moved in our new house, I realized the ceiling was too low for me to do them standing, so I had to find a solution for that. So I thought, why not do them seated? A friend of mine also suggested this, and I tried them and fell in love immediately. The stability, the strictness, the fact that I was able to drive much harder and not lean back as much, all of this contributed to a better exercise overall for hypertrophy. I use an 80-degree angle on my bench, which is the highest I can adjust, and it is just perfect like that. I am able to press into a straight line and not have an arc like you would if your torso was 100% vertical. You have to press in an arcing motion because otherwise you would hit your chin and nose. So the easiest fix for this is to just use a 75 to 80 degree angle on your bench. This is the exact position you will achieve if you lean back a bit on a standing press, but now the stability is much better with back support. This will assure you have a good, strong position for pressing. It will limit your lower back engagement, and it will also be less fatiguing because you're sitting down. All right, next exercise is the Seated easy bar overhead tricep extension. So previously, before this, I didn't actually do a tricep variation that specifically targets more of the long head of the triceps, and it showed. My long head wasn't as developed as the lateral head and medial head. Now, as I want to increase my arm size, this is definitely the way to go. Targeting your long head will give your arms a bigger sweep, and it just looks badass. Just look at Joffrey Verity Schofield, crazy long head development. I prefer doing them seated with an easy bar for the stability and the ability to drive hard, as this allows to have the same movement pattern for every rep. Have as much shoulder flexion as you can. Control the eccentric, go as low as you can using back support, also slightly leaned back. Even though the movement will not be the hardest when the triceps are fully stretched, I still think it's great. I compared this with incline curls as they have similar resistance profiles. Also, try not to make it like a pressing extension thingy. As long as you keep your arms fixed and extend from the elbows, great. Next exercise will be barbell wrist curls. I decided to do this because I needed a good forearm mass builder that I'm able to load pretty heavy and progress with. I've been passionate about arm wrestling all my life, and I stole this move from arm wrestling. I don't think there is another exercise that's more painful than this, honestly. If you go to complete failure, madness. Lowering the bar all the way down into extension will stretch your forearms like crazy, and then fighting to curl it all the way up. Try to keep your elbows as close together as you can to compensate for the supination, or have a wider grip on the bar, and then you'll be able to curl in a straight line. This exercise will feel hard from the first reps, but it's the kind of exercise that if you can resist the pain, you can do a ton of reps and have insane forearm tension. The pumps I get from this are so big that my hands feel paralyzed 1 hour after the workout is done. I highly suggest doing them. The next exercise that I wish I had done sooner is knee level rack pulls. I specifically chose this bar height to prevent dragging the bar up on my legs. I should have done this instead of deadlifts for many years because not everybody is supposed to pull from the floor. Rack pulls allow me to pull from a position with good leverages for my anthropometry. I have long torso and short arms and a -4 ape index. My aim with this is to have a heavy weighted stretch for my upper back, mainly for traps, as my main upper back builder, and also I do this a bit differently than other people by maintaining my chest high and have a straight back in order to target the spinal erectors and more of the lower back. I miss doing my weighted back extensions as I don't have the necessary equipment, so this will have to do the trick for now. By the way, I always wake up with a sore lower back and traps from this move. This is a massive back builder. It allows to use more weight than a regular deadlift, but I think the best is to not use more than 10% of your conventional deadlift working set weight and slowly build up from there. Even though this allows to use more weight by reducing range of motion, it also takes out leg drive from the equation, so be aware of that. Next one will be reverse grip curls. Initially, I was doing wrist extensions and hammer curls. Now, I'm not saying this will replace any of those, but it's a good in-between movement And by doing only this, you will save some time and still be able to work your brachioradialis, your brachialis, and the biceps all in one. The benefits of the hammer curl also apply to this variation. This is essential to have that complete arm development look, even though this is an underrated exercise. My suggestion is to use chalk or straps to make sure the bar is not slipping, and an easy bar for more comfort on your wrists. I've been struggling with underdeveloped forearms as I neglected them most of my lifting career, but now everything's changed with this exercise. Reverse grip curls will give you that jacked, complete arm look because big arms with small forearms just look weird in my opinion. If you do a lot of tricep pushdowns, it's a good idea to also do reverse grip curls to balance it out and prevent elbow tendonitis. This is also great because you need to use less weight, but the stimulus to fatigue ratio is amazing because of this. And finally, upright rows. Back in the day, everyone from my circle of friends thought that this exercise will take their shoulders directly to hospital. Even today, the internet is full of shit about this exercise. So I want to clarify something. There is not a single inherently dangerous exercise. Only exercises that you are not ready for in terms of flexibility, tendon strength, or using inadequate loads. Slowly introducing an exercise in your routine and have an open mind about it, gradually increase your range of motion. This will save you from discomfort and pain. Just look at weightlifters doing all kind of upright pulls and internally rotating their shoulders. You can make upright rows feel comfortable by performing the movement in the scapular plane, and it allows to use your shoulders more efficiently and have better contractions. Approach this exercise open-minded, like you wouldn't know what other people said about it, and you will see that this exercise feels great. It's up to you to find out what feels best for you in terms of how high you pull, where you position your arms on the bar, what bar are you using, where do you lean? Do you lean back or do you lean forward, and so on. Alright, that's about it for this video. Probably the next exercises that I want to try are the dumbbell pullover, the JM press, and the dumbbell fly press. So stay tuned.